Hello and welcome to Feminine Success Secrets, the place women come to become powerfully feminine. I'm Candice Oneida. I have women on my channel constantly asking me how they can go deeper with this work on how to get more feminine energy and power. And so I have something very special to offer you at the end of this video, so stay right until the end when I'm going to be revealing to you a very special offer that I'm offering to my community to show you how to be able to go deeper with. So today I'm going to talk to you about how to become powerfully feminine and the 3 massive mistakes that I see again and again that women make that keep them exhausted and burning out. So today I'm going to briefly go over what I see as the 3 massive mistakes that women are making that keep them exhausted, overwhelmed, and heading on a fast track to burning out. I'm also going to show you how to become powerfully feminine again. You may or may not know my story. Here it is in brief. I was a very successful corporate professional in Australia for 12 years in my early career. I was at the peak of my profession as a commercial designer and was highly sought after in my field. I transitioned into being a consultant after these 12 years, and after that I have now run my own businesses, 5 to date actually, and very successfully. In fact, my 5 companies have earned in the range of $250,000 to $1 million a year in annual earnings. Sounds impressive, right? However, the truth is, in my early 40s, I had a series of events hit me that led me to royally burning out by my mid-40s and my body throwing me into early menopause. These events left me homeless, carless, without a relationship, and all of my assets sucked dry. I was left alone, ashamed, and on the brink of bankruptcy. Now, being an ardent meditator, I went off into a long meditation retreat. Sometime during the retreat, I had this deep realization that all of my previous success had been done from my masculine side and that my feminine side had all but dried up at that point. I made this decision from that deep place that I just couldn't do it again. Start up another company and run it from my masculine do, compete, work harder and harder, and burning myself out way of doing things. I just knew that there had to be another way to do my life, work and relationships. And so I set out to apply 20 years of spiritual training and research on feminine energy and power to see if I applied it fully into my life, what would be the outcome, what would be the result. I now run a thriving business based on feminine principles. I live a life that I've designed for myself, I have incredible friendships and a relationship that I've always wanted. And this is why I am so passionate about teaching other women how to become powerfully feminine again, and how to live their life, work, and relationships from their feminine power source. So today, let's jump into the 3 massive mistakes women make that keep them exhausted and are rapidly heading on a path to burnout. Now, the reason why I want to talk about this is that it's a freaking epidemic out there for women, and I wanted to give you the lowdown on what is not being in your feminine power first, if that's okay. Now, at the end of the video, the short video here, I'm going to give you a link to a webinar in which I'll go much deeper into the details of the 3 mistakes and how to overcome them for good. Also going to be making you an offer that you can't refuse to go deeper into this powerful work with me. An offer that I'm making to my community right now. I am always thinking of ways of how I can serve you better and more thoroughly and more deeply. And so I'm very excited to be able to offer this to you at the end of this video. Sound good? Okay, so I'm going to tell you the 3 massive mistakes in reverse order, starting with 3, then 2, then 1. So mistake number 3 that keep women exhausted and burning out is that they are stuck in man mode. Man mode, you know, the mode where you are working too hard, never taking breaks, working like a dog, competing, never ending to-do list, long hours, no breaks, overtime, overwork, juggling too many balls, or wearing too many hats. This is what is called man mode. So The definition of man mode is when a woman works, thinks, and acts from her masculine side. Lissa Rankin, MD, and author of What's Up Down There, calls this being spermy. You know, like a sperm, competing, charging, moving constantly, being goal-oriented, and never resting until the goal is achieved. We as women need to learn how to be more eggy and less spermy. Now, working in man mode for a woman may work. In fact, we've proved as women that we can compete with men at their level. We're as intelligent and capable. But we are suffering the consequences of doing life like this. Some of the consequences are exhaustion, overwhelm, and burning out. What women need to understand is that there is a cost to this, a cost to their health, a cost to their relationships, a cost to their family, a cost to their dreams, and perhaps worst of all, a cost to them not living their purpose in life. Now, some of the extreme health costs, and I really wanted to share these with you. Now, around the early 1960s, women entered the workforce, right? They entered a world that was already built by men for men. Now, since then, there has been an increase in female-specific cancers by 60%. That is, cancers of the breasts, ovaries, uterus, and cervix. There has been a tripling of heart attacks in women in the last 10 years. 20 million women in the US suffer from endometriosis, fibroids, and ovarian cysts. 75% of women surveyed have symptoms of adrenal fatigue. 1 in 5 women is depressed. And here's a clincher: every 34 seconds a woman dies of heart disease. Now, our bodies are telling us something, ladies. It's time to listen. It simply isn't sustainable to continue doing our lives in man mode. Now, mistake number 2 that keep women exhausted and burned out is not prioritizing desire. Napoleon Hill quoted, "The starting point of all achievement is desire." He knew that desire was the engine behind all success. What he didn't know was that as a woman, we are desire creatures, and that our desire is one of the most powerful forces in the universe. The other thing he didn't speak of is that in order for us to get what we want, what we desire, what we really want, we need to get in touch with our deep, sometimes unconscious and hidden desires to do this. These deep desires are the ones that tap us as women into the fuel that will fuel us through the entire length of the experience toward our dreams, our goals, and in fact our purpose. Now, when a woman is out of touch with her desire, she is out of touch with this powerful force inside of her. When she is out of touch with her desire, she ends up unplugged from her power source, which includes her relationship to her body, her pussy, and her sexuality. Literally, think of it like this. You're either plugged into the socket or you're unplugged from it. Turned on or turned off. And when a woman isn't plugged in and turned on, whatever she is doing is simply not sustainable and is hence heading to burnout eventually. Like me, I thought I could keep burning the candle at both ends in my 20s until my body gave out on me. I ended up in massive burnout, body pain, and loss of strength and energy. And worst of all, I wasn't getting some of my deepest desires met, if I honestly reflect on that, such as having a deeply loving relationship. Basically, when we as women aren't plugged in, turned on, and doing what we want, what we desire, we slowly die inside. However, it does not have to be this way. When you learn how to get in touch with your deep desires, then all the other desires get met. You feel alive, joy-filled, happy, and surprising and wonderful things come your way. Okay, drum roll please. Mistake number 1 that keep women exhausted and rapidly heading to burnout. They have no feminine mentorship, and hence they are not aware of the feminine arts. Now, what I mean here is not mentorship by a woman. You may have noticed, but so many of your professional female counterparts, business coaches even, or therapists, are often as much stuck in their masculine as you are. In fact, little sidebar here, I've noticed some of the worst proponents of doing life, work and relationships from their masculine are women. And they defend their position ferociously that this is the only way that it's done. And they aggressively put down, denounce or shame feminine women and women who are in their feminine side or their feminine power. Well, until they burn out, and then they might start to listen. But not you, my dear, as you are here already sensing that something is not quite right inside and that you need guidance and mentorship on how to get this mysterious thing called feminine power and energy back. Now, what I do mean is mentorship by a woman who has mastered the feminine arts herself, lives her life, work and relationships based on her feminine power, not masculine power, and has developed a way to mentor others how to do the same. I want you to understand how much I don't want you to have to end up where I did, exhausted, burnt out, depressed, lost, and alone. And if I can be honest with you, it was a miserable time. And you really don't have to go down this track. Consider me the prophetess of the future here to warn you that being out of touch with your feminine power will lead to burning out eventually. Doing life from man mode, being out of touch with your desire and not seeking feminine mentorship is a recipe for feeling depressed, turned off, out of touch with your sexuality, unenthusiastic about life, work and relationships, and burning yourself out faster and faster. However, I have now discovered the 5 core feminine arts that are the essential arts and skills that women need to know and to embody in order to get back into their feminine power and energy. Now, as I said in the beginning of this video, many women have been asking me how to go deep with this work. Now, I want you to know that this channel is and will always continue to be a totally free resource for you. I've deliberately set it up like this so that if that's all you want, then it will be here for you. However, as my mission is to help 10,000 women to become powerfully feminine, I've created a brand new program called the Powerfully Feminine Intensive, in which I teach you via videos, audios and PDFs in a totally home learning environment, the 5 core feminine arts. I'm not going to go too deeply into the details here, as it's there for you at the end of my free webinar that I'd love you to reserve a seat for right now. The webinar link is above you right now, and I'll also put a link in the description box below the video. In the webinar, I'll be going into much greater depth to give you even more free value from me about feminine power and what's getting in the way of it for you. I have a few dates and times coming up for this. Click on the link above or below in the description box to reserve your seat. At around 45 minutes in, I will be talking to you in great detail about how to dive even deeper into this work with me, with an amazing offer that I want to make to you as a member of my community. An offer to become one of the Powerfully Feminine Sisters in the Powerfully Feminine Intensive program. If you're already good to go and you want to become a member of the Powerfully Feminine Sisterhood, I will put a link below in the description box so you can link directly to the cart to sign up for the Powerfully Feminine Intensive. I'm very excited to engage you more deeply and be a key feminine mentor for you moving forward, and to invite you into the Powerfully Feminine Sisterhood. Click on the link for the webinar, reserve your seat right now, and I'll see you in the webinar. I can't guarantee that this will be available for much longer, especially the extraordinary offer that I'll be making to you on the webinar. Sending much love to you. Bye bye for now.